To JazzedTutorials, and if you are a first-time viewer, welcome, and if you are a past-time viewer and always watched, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're going to be making a really intricate type of photo. I'm not sure what to call this tutorial because it's very just, I guess, retro, a retro poster background type graphic we're making. I got this idea off of a website I found, and I thought it would be really awesome to share. So I broke it down, the image broken down into Photoshop and created it within here. And it does take some time, so that's why, again, I've remade the layers already so we can just go zoom, 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 and not take forever a day and bore you to tears. So as you'll notice, I've made a background. I will share with you exactly what that background is. So once you open a canvas, I'm using a I think it's an 800 by 1200 canvas size, but it doesn't really matter what size you use, whatever works for you. You can always edit the size again in the end anyway. So double click on your background layer and convert it to a layer 0. It'll ask you, do you wish to do this, blah, 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 click OK, and then go forward. Then click on check off gradient overlay, and you want to have your, everything stays the same. The only difference we're changing is the gradient, obviously. Now, I already have this in my swatch made, but you will not. So I will share with you each color. I chose 3 different hues, 2 being dark and 1 being light in the middle. This is my first color of choice. It's a very salmon-y pink color. And then for the center color, I chose another brightish salmon color. Okay. And then last but not least, we have this one here. Alright. Once you have your 3 colors chosen, click OK, and you've made your background. Congratulations! You made the first step. How do you feel? Okay, now we're going to add some adjustment layers and things of that nature. And other layers. So we're going to start now, before we do the adjustment layers, I forgot, we're going to add some circles. So grab your elliptical marquee tool and create a circle with a color. I will share with you this color, don't worry. We're going to choose this lovely hue right here. Alright, choose that color. And now make a small-ish circle. You can see that mine's faded in, and I will explain why it's faded in a minute. A small circle like such. It doesn't really matter the size. Whatever suits your the photo you'll be using. You can always edit the size of your circle once you've put in your stock photo. We're going to put the stock photo in just a moment. We're doing this first circle, and then we'll work on our 2 other circles after this. I know it's confusing, but hang tight. So once you've placed your circle in the center of your image, you're going to make it with a fill of 9%. You want to make it visible, but not too visible. Alright? Okay. Now you're going to import your stock photo. Let me find out where my stock photo is. My stock photo is somewhere here. Okay, now you're going to see that my stock photo is a little edited, but I'll explain. Full detail, explain what I've done. Now, I have a mask layer here, and I did this in a previous, we're going to disable that for a minute, and I'll try and explain. So, I opened my stock photo, and I then went and desiccated my stock photo. So go ahead and desicate your stock photo after you've imported it. Now you will notice that on my stock photo, I went ahead and morphed it into the circle. Now you're probably thinking, well, you didn't share with us how to do that. Well, I will get there. Hold your thought. So once you open your stock photo, you're going to then change your blend mode to multiply on the first stock photo layer. Alright, now is where you're going to learn how to do the whole circle-y import thing. So, on your first circle that you've made, you're going to command click or control click on this mask part here, which then makes the circle visible. Then, with your lovely stock photo layer selected, you're going to grab you're just going to grab a marquee tool of such. And the reason why you're using a marquee tool for this is because you need to inverse the layer. Once you have a marquee selector selected, doesn't matter if it's round, whatever, as long as it's a marquee selection, you're going to then click over here to select inverse. This will then inverse everything. So now grab a soft round brush, a brush of any size, eraser brush, and you're going to then brush away any parts you don't want to have showing, and it will then somehow mask it into the circle. Do you kind of see where I'm going with that? Like, so now if I grab an eraser brush, and if I had stuff here, you just go ahead and erase it, and then it automatically erases everything you want out of it, and then whatever you want is in the circle. Yeah, I'm losing you, I know, I'm sorry. But that's kind of how you do it. You inverse it, and then you erase the parts you don't want, and then what you do want's inside the circle. Okay, well, I think I've explained it enough as I can. Let's move forward. Okay, then, once you've done that, we're going to then grab a lovely black brush. I have chosen a 215 PX size brush, or 100% PX brush. Depending on the size of your photo and canvas, you'll need to choose accordingly. Grab a black brush, and I then brushed on top, as you'll notice, I brushed off just a bit of my photo. Not too much of it, but I kind of masked out just a bit of it. So, yeah, make your layer, apply your layer mask to that layer. Why did I just apply that? Enable. Yeah, okay. So you see here on my layers palette that I have mine masked out of it. Now, we need to enhance the color of this photo. It's very weird looking, I know. Let's keep going. So I then went ahead and duplicated my lovely stock image, and with the duplicated stock image, I then set it to overlay on the next copy. So your top copy should be set to overlay, and you should see something similar to what I have shown here. Maybe not exactly like mine, because like I said, as you'll notice, every photo has their own color hues, and they will kind of coincide. So mine will not look entirely like yours, but it'll look similar. Alright? And again, I have the mask layer on here as well, and I kind of added some white to this one. I grabbed a white brush of large size, and on this layer, I went ahead and repasted the top portion of her hair, or hoodie, I guess you'd say. So just put some white specks on a portion of your image on the top here. That way, it kind of blends in more nicely. Okay. Let's go back down below and add some more circles to this to make it more retro-y feeling. So I have added some more here. I duplicated my previous circle layer a few times. Yeah. So entirely we have 4 circles. We have the main circle in the center, and then I added 3 additional circles on the rim. 1, 2, 3, and then there's 4. The 4th one you can't really see, but that's okay. We don't need to have it seen. And as you'll notice, I masked out the bottom half of the circle. That way it blends in with the background. So grab a soft round eraser brush of large size, or you can even use a black brush, whatever suits your fancy. An eraser brush or a brush itself will work perfectly fine. And just mask out this bottom part here so that it kind of blends in a bit with the image. Alright, pretty cool. Let's keep going. So on my second copy, I changed the fill to 18%. And the rest can all stay at 9%, FYI. It's just the second one I wanted to have at 18% so it shows a bit more. That's all. Other than that, much stays the same. Okay, let's keep going. Now, I have added another adjustment layer. Well, not an adjustment layer, but I added some cool stuff. I took a white brush and I pasted on just a bit of white on top of my lady. Using a white soft round brush, I just put some white dots all over her. Now, I did, however, alter the opacity of my brush. I think it was about 85%. Yeah, 85%. I brushed it on top, and then to really only make it on top of the girl layer, my stock image, and nothing else, I held down my Alt key and added a clipping mask. So hold down your Alt key, make the paint bucket appear, and add a clipping mask so it clips down only to that little girl's layer. And then I changed the opacity of the layer to 82%. So it kind of blends in a bit, but not too much. Okay, that's what happened there. So now, let's keep going. I then added another layer above that, a brand new layer, and on this layer I added some color. We want to now start adding some really retro feeling colors to this, so I added an awesome color. Let me share with you this color. I will show you in just one moment. Let me make this to normal. And Alright, we're going to unalt this so you can see what color I chose. Alright. I chose this lovely hue right here. Alright, and that's what you'll need to choose for yours as well. And we're going to add a clipping mask. Alt, clipping mask. And I chose Vivid Light for my lovely blend mode because I think it gives a nice touch, don't you think? And then we altered my opacity just a bit to 95%. I think that's where I had it. Wasn't it? Well, whatever, close enough. Okay. Anyways, moving forward. I'm now going to add a curves adjustment layer above this. Now this one doesn't have to be an adjustment, doesn't have to be a clipping mask layer, it could be above all the stuff, doesn't really matter. So click your curves and just make a shape similar to what I have shown here. Again, you'll have to play around with your settings because if your photo is a bit too dark or a bit too bright, you need to alter that. But I know we use black and white as our main color, but sometimes images have different weird things. I have no idea what the heck that, yeah. Alright, so once you've done that, we're free to go with that one. Let's keep going. And now I have added a new adjustment layer, and this one, a new layer above everything. And this is a semi-black layer. It's not actually black, it's actually a form of black, if that makes any sense to you. Yes, it's this color right here. It's almost black, but not too black. Alright, click that, and then choose your layer to exclusion. Right here. Sweet. Alright, that's that. Now let's keep going. I then chose another blue color of choice, and I will show you that color in just momentarily. Make that normal so you can see it. Boom. Okay, we chose this lovely hue right here. And as you'll notice, I took a very large saffron brush and I brushed upon almost the entire lady, or stock image, you'll say. And then with that, I chose lighten. And we got that effect right there. Pretty awesome. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, buddy. Alright. Now, I'm taking as you'll notice, a white brush, and I pasted a largest dot right there. Alright, and then what I did is because the dot had some sort of like outline to it or whatever, I don't know why I did, but it did anyway, I masked out the sides of the white dot with a eraser brush, just so it blends in with the image more. And that's where that happened. So that's why you see a layer mask on here. You can do so if you would like, but if you want to leave it as is, go for it. But I just think it looks nice if you mask out the white dot just so it blends in more with the photo. And feel free to place that white dot wherever you choose on your stock image. I just chose right there because it looked pretty awesome. Alrighty-roo, let's keep going. Now, I have added some lovely dots, as you'll notice. Now, I'm going to teach you how to make these dots because you will have to learn how to make these because this is going to become pretty handy. Go over here to your lovely brush presets. Oops, sorry. And you're going to select a 5px brush. Hardness is going to be 33%. 33. And we're choosing a lovely 1000% spacing. Let's select scattering. And you want to select control fade. So fading is your control in 25 and 1. And your count jitter should be 100%. And then we're going to also select transfer. And on your transfer, I'm moving too fast. Sorry guys. We didn't do shape dynamics. So shape dynamics is this right here. Although your size jitter needs to be 58%. Okay, the rest can stay the same. Don't check any of that off. Then, as you notice, we had scattering. We did that already. Okay, fade, blah, blah, blah. Transfer is going to be fade as well. You'll have 100% opacity jitter, 25 for your fade, 50% for your minimum, and 53% for your flow jitter, and boom. And then just check off smoothing. And you should see something similar to what you see down below. Select our color for this lovely brush. I'm going to choose a hue of this matter. It's a pinkish color. So select that color there. And then obviously on a new layer you'll make the same lovely scattering effects as I did. And you can scatter them throughout the image however you like, whatever works for you. And then what I did is I grabbed a soft round brush and I kind of masked out the parts that kind of didn't really fit in with the image, but you may not want to. You might like it the way it is. That's fine. I don't judge. Okay, let's keep going forward. Alright. So, on the next layer above that, I went back into my lovely brush that we just made, and I altered the size of the, I went to the brush size. I just altered the brush size to 10px, and I added some more bigger brushes around this image here. But what I did is I changed the color just a tad. So I chose this lovely orange red color. Yeah, that one there. And then just pasted on some dots around the layer randomly. And that was that. I didn't mask out any of those because they were kind of blended in really nicely. And yeah. Alright, pretty cool. We're getting somewhere, guys. We're almost done. Oh, and before I forget, I changed the opacity of that layer to 57% and the blend mode's pin light. I almost forgot to say that. Wow, that could have ended so badly for you guys. Now, once we have that, now we're going to work on making our lovely rectangle shapes. Yay! Don't you just love rectangle shapes? I love rectangle shapes. So, grab I'm going to disable this because you'll need to see how I did this. Disable layer mask for now, and I'll explain. Okay, so I made a rectangle of this size here, and you can choose any size of a rectangle you like. It has to be kind of similar to this. So grab your lovely rectangle tool here, and make a rectangle like my size here. Just like any size will do. Something like that, maybe. And I just turned it to the right, twisted it a bit by doing a Control-T. And FYI, if you want to do a Control-T, you may have to rasterize your layer, shape layer. So go ahead and rasterize your shape layer now, because it's a lot safer than going ahead and doing it when it tells you to. So rasterize your shape layer once you make your shape, and then you can go ahead and twist it to the right a bit. Alright, and then double click on that double click on that once you've twisted it a bit. We're adding a gradient overlay, blend mode's pin light, opacity 21%, and then you want to have a white to transparent color for your choice. So yeah, and then negative 180 for your angle, and then click OK, and you'll see something similar to what I've shown there. Now is where the fun begins. You then need to duplicate that layer twice. So you have three different rectangles. Wow, I couldn't even think of that. And once you have your three rectangles pasted, you're gonna then mask those out just a bit. And by masking out, I mean make a mask layer, grab an eraser brush, and just erase around the edges of the sides, like the side of this, just the left side here. Let me enable this so you'll see what I'm talking about. So as you see, I faded it in, and there's still a bit of the rectangle right there. Alright, let's make my other three visible, and you'll see. And obviously, on the other three, you'll notice how I moved them slightly to the right. So they're not all in one big blob. Because obviously that would be ridiculous. So I have three. And I masked out each layer, by the way, so they all blend in really nicely, and all great. Okay, well, you think we're done? Well, not quite. We have a few more things to go over. So as you'll notice, have grouped every layer. Why, you ask? Well, the next few steps need to be one layer only. So once you've grouped, so after you make everything, once you're at this point in the tutorial, go ahead and group everything. Okay, got your stuff grouped? Alright, here we go. Do a Control or Command E and merge everything together. Now I bet you're thinking, well, why can't I just merge everything together in one layer when I go to Layer Palette? If you went to Layer and clicked Merge Visible, I guarantee you that it would give you some sort of a blue, like, inverse type of weird thing. Because as you'll remember, way back in the tutorial, we added some cool, like, blend modes and stuff. And if you try to merge all that together in one, it gets all jumbly and crumbly and weird. So the reason why this works out is if you group it and then you merge it, it doesn't. You know, I really don't know the science in that actually, but it works out that way. So hey, just do it that way and you'll be fine. Okay, now we're gonna add one more thing. We're gonna go to Filter, and we're going to add a unsharpened mask. So unsharpened mask, and I've chosen 51 for my amount and 3.0 for my radius, and threshold is at 0. Alright, click OK, and voila, you've got that. That is it. That's the tutorial. It's very simple like that. Now, I really think it needs text, just so you know. So, I happen to have some really awesome text on my computer. Let's see if I can find it. I have I have a lot of cool text fonts on my computer that I just randomly find on the internet. If you go to dafont.com, you can find a lot of cool fonts. Let's see, where's the one I really... Disco Diva. This is a really cool font, guys. I love this font. It really, brings more, retro feel to all my photos. So I love this font. I think I found it on dafont.com, if I remember correctly. I think so. But yeah. Let's change that to white, because it would really look nice. And, oh my god, look at that. So cool. So hip. Such a hipster. Okay, well now we're completely done. And like always, if you know of a better way to enhance this tutorial, go for it. Show me what you got. I always give you the basics of a tutorial, but I always tell you, feel free to go and expand it and make it your own and make it bigger, better, and more awesome. Because that's what we're all about here. We're all about making art awesome. The art is awesome, and you are too. So, yay! Alright. I have blabbed on long enough. I've taught you some stuff. I gave you knowledgeable information, hopefully. And hopefully I educated you on some stuff. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. And please like, comment, subscribe. I love new people. I love you all. Team Awesome is amazing. And yeah, I will see you next week. Bye!